Hello, today we're gonna be making a panetela de guayaba. That is a guava torte. First, we're gonna have to grease our pan. I'm having parchment paper that I've cut to fit at the bottom of it. We have to put some melted butter here so that our paper sticks. We're going to stick it right here. And now we're going to grease the bottom and the sides of the pan. You could use the spray that comes for baking, the non-stick spray. I really like the flavor, the additional flavor that the melted butter gives to the panetela. That's why I am brushing it instead of spraying it with that non-stick spray. I use unsalted butter on this, and we are also using unsalted butter in the recipe. Okay, so our pan is completed. Now we're going to move on to making the batter. First, you need a bowl, a hand mixer, and then we're going to get 2 eggs at room temperature. We need 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. We also need 1 cup of granulated sugar. We're going to mix this first. Put your eggs in a separate container in case you drop some eggshells or your eggs turn out to be bad. You can just dump it instead of having to dump the entire batter. And now I need 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. I like using pure vanilla. This has a stronger, sweeter flavor. Now we're going to beat this until it is creamy. So this is how it should look. It looks fluffy, creamy. Now we're going to add 2 cups of self-rising flour. You have to sift the flour before measuring it. And we're going to gently mix this together. So I'm gonna go on number 1 speed. Now all the flour is wet. So now I'm going to add 1/4 pound of melted butter, which is 1/2 cup. Now I'm going to add 1/2 cup of melted butter, and that's been cooled down. My dough is done, well, my batter. It's almost dough because it's heavy and sticky. It should be heavy, sticky, shiny, and smooth. There are no clumps in here. Now, guava paste, you can find them in like Hispanic markets. Sometimes they have them in some Asian markets. Some supermarkets have it. It's guava paste, and I know Goya has some, but I've seen like 2 or 3 other brands, and they're also good. This is what I found where I live right now. Here is my guava paste that I've cut into thin layers. It doesn't matter if there are smaller pieces than others. That's okay. We're gonna take our batter and we're gonna use half of it here in the bottom of the pan. I'm gonna use an offset spatula to help me smooth it out. So about half. Because it is so sticky, you could use a bit of water to make your spatula easier to go around. You can use some of the butter. I'm going to use some of the butter here to help me spread it. With a layer of guava. If you don't want to use the butter, you get some water, and that's where you dip your offset spatula to help you spread the batter. So here I'm gonna take my other half of the batter and I'm going to dump it here in chunks. And I have a preheated oven. The oven is preheated at 350 Fahrenheit degrees. And this is going to bake in the middle rack of the oven for about 30 minutes. Fresh out of the oven. I have the plate I'm going to serve it on, and I have ultra fine granulated sugar. If you don't have it, you cannot find it, just use regular granulated sugar and you put it in a food processor. You pulse it a few times and then it'll become finer. So I'm going to sprinkle this on here, like so. And now I'm going to flip my panetela on my plate. And I dump it there. See all that steam getting out. Now we have to let it cool, and when we let it cool, we're going to put some powdered sugar on top, and then we're gonna cut it into squares. You're gonna get a sieve and then pour some on it. Oops. I'm making a mess. And then just go over it. I like it very powdery. Some people don't like as much sugar. And now we gotta cut it. So you can measure, like if it's for selling it or for a party. I really like to measure, and I usually do 2 by 2 inches. but this is for us here at home. So I'm going to eyeball it. And this is your finished plate. The sugar we put in the bottom gives it a little bit of texture down here. And this is it. Enjoy.